Welcome. Sit down, roll up, pour up, turn up and tune in. Because you're now watching the Buncher Bull Network.
Yo, what's good, y'all? I'm your host, Greg Lamont. Welcome back to the world we know. And get ready for some good shit. And welcome to our new environment. As we get into some new shit today, make sure you sit back, spark up, sip, and get ready for the world we know. Today's episode is called Start with a Bang, because I just feel like that's how 2026 is going right now. Starting with a fucking bang. There's a lot of fucking shit going on in the first 7 days of this year. Now it's 9 days, but a lot of shit's happened in the first 7 days this year. And I feel like it would be ignorant with the show called The World We Know to talk about the shit that's happening in the motherfucking world we know. So let's start with the biggest thing that just happened, which is Venezuela. Venezuela. Nobody really expected this. Nobody seen it coming. But this week or last week, no, it might be this week now, Trump and his administration captured Nicolas Maduro. Nicolas Maduro is the president of Venezuela. Now, this is very controversial for so many fucking reasons, and I can say that I don't really agree with this decision. Even though I do support Donnie, I don't agree with the way it was handled. Now, I was doing some research and getting more insight on it, and I realized a big part of why this happened, obviously everybody knows it's the oil, but the reason why it's the oil is because, so our dollar's pretty much backed by, since Nixon in 1979 took us off the gold standard and he put us on the petrodollar, which pretty much means all sales of gold internationally are sold via USD, US dollar. Now, this is a big deal because this kept us as the reserve currency. The reserve currency is what keeps us a fucking superpower. So last year, no, not last year, 2024 now, Saudi Arabia announced that they will no longer be renewing the petro deal because they're the ones we did it with. We did it with them we made a trade-off. We said we will keep you in power because it's a royal family. Said we'll keep you in power and we'll protect you as long as you guarantee us every sale is US dollar. Well, since brick was invented in like 2023, 2022, they put pressure and it's worked because in 2024, Saudi Arabia announced that they'll be selling it via yen and BRICS currencies. And that weakens us. And if you think about it, if we lose our reserve status, which I keep faith we don't, but if we do, we're $37 trillion in debt. And it's just not good. But here's the good thing, y'all. In order to be a reserve, you have to have two things. One, you have to have the most transacted or used currency in the world. And two, you have to have a force to keep that status. Because, yeah, you can have a big currency, but if you're a little country like fucking, I guess like Venezuela in this situation, then motherfuckers will just come and take you over and say, fuck that shit. So I say this to say that I think there's going to be a war for oil. And it's not just, oh, we want oil, it costs money. It's, oh, okay, well, we're going to stay in power one way or another, and however we got to do it. I mean, I also think it's Israeli influence, obviously, but at this point, we're so far in with this fucking shit, with this Venezuela invasion, which is what it was an invasion. Motherfuckers are not going to look to trade. Well, I mean, they kind of have to for a little bit, but trading with U.S., our relationships with other countries is going to be very strained because now they're going to be like, okay, well, what Bricks is saying is true, that if we don't do what you say, you're just going to come and take our shit over. If we don't do what you say, you're just going to fucking bully us, powerhouse us, which is kind of our track record. And we no longer have the higher ground against Putin to be like, oh, you invaded Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. We are losing high ground for China to be like, okay, fuck it, we're going to invade Taiwan. Like, I think it wasn't a great move. Sure, it's a show of power, and it's historic for the military operations, but I feel like you could have did it diplomatically. Even though Maduro didn't like Trump, he did say that he wanted to sit down and talk with him. But I feel like maybe he would have just sold us, like taxed us on the oil. Trump's like, fuck that, I'll just take it. But yeah, that's the Venezuela situation. We have Nicolas Maduro over here, petrodollars in shambles. That's why we're invading them. And as of I believe, well, no, we'll start with this. As of today, Trump announced that he will be planning. He didn't say like we may. He said that it will be happening land strikes in Mexico against the cartels. And he also claimed that Cuba and Colombia are at risk of the same type of attack that Venezuela had if they don't stop with their drug shit. I feel like the drug shit's just a cover up to be like, okay, we're justified in doing this, but yeah, that's my thoughts on that. The next news with the fucking military is that, I mean, there's a couple things, but another one that goes along with what I'm saying is we just announced 2 days ago that the U.S. military in 2027 will have a budget of 1.5 trillion fucking dollars. Okay, that is in fucking insane, and I'll tell you how this goes along with everything I'm saying. So not the petrodollar. The military's budget is a record this year. It's $1 trillion for this year, which is fucking insane. It was 800 billion since like 2021. Now, if you go back like 2018, the military budget was like 600 billion. Before that, it was rarely above like 500. What we're spending on the military right now is fucking ridiculous. We made new fucking battleships were announced. I mentioned a couple weeks ago. New battleships, Navy shit, Air Force shit. I feel like what we're doing, I don't agree with the spending, but I believe what's happening is we're being like, yo, if y'all think y'all is gonna take us out as a motherfucking reserve currency, y'all, and like I said, I'm keeping faith, we aren't gonna lose that. But if y'all wanna do that shit, yeah, you might be able to try and take the reserve, but you ain't taking the motherfucking force. So I feel like that's why he's like, fuck it, we're putting everything into the fucking military, because if niggas try something, like, whoa, hey, we're ready for war. But it's scary. The Department of Defense changed to the Department of War. All these attacks, claiming more attacks. I mean, it's good, but it's bad. Some of them, pros and cons. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty fucking freaky to see what's happening right now. And the last bit of like drowsy news I got for y'all, before I actually have a good government update, is I'm sure y'all have seen that the ICE officer fatally shot and killed that lady. I think her name was like Renee Good something. Rest in peace to her. That is very unfortunate. It's fucked up. But the crazy thing about the details of the situation is, in the footage of it, is like she did attack him with the car. Like before the shots were fired, she attacked him with the car. But what's really weird and like very coincidental, like almost impossible to like probability, is that officer that shot and killed her just a year ago, he got hit by an illegal immigrant trying to do a stop. He got ran over. Well, the immigrant tried to ran him over, but he got hit and he was hospitalized for some time over that. So it's ironic that same fucking ICE officer kills this lady. I don't know, it's weird. I don't like the fact that he killed her. I mean, yes, she went after him with a car, and technically, I mean, anybody, even if you're not an officer, you could use lethal force. If somebody's chasing me with a fucking car, I'm shooting your head off. I don't know. But it's just nasty all around. And yeah, condolences to that and the family and the PTSD that comes with that. But on some good news, on the flip side of the week, we had a lot happen this week, y'all. A lot fucking happened this week. I got a feeling a lot's gonna happen this year, so make sure y'all tap in all fucking year. We're gonna be stepping up the game this year, doing some crazy shit, but the world's crazy enough, so well, we know we got a lot to talk about. But on the flip side, HHS has announced a new food pyramid, a new dietary guideline, and new shit with that. So I believe that they dropped a South Park parody of it. Will we be able to play that, Jesse? All right, bet you're good, no rush. But yeah, HHS changed that. I also want to show y'all the dietary guideline page, some of the shit it says. I'm pretty excited. I think some of the stuff I want to manifest is about to manifest. So, dietary guidelines, yeah. And then, so, wait, no. It's a HHS link, but before you do that, can you go to YouTube? Because RFK made this little, like, South Park skit. And look up RFK South Park food pyramid. Or, yeah, that should be it, yeah. All right, yeah. Yeah, it might be, it is those pictures, but it might just be in a short if they don't have it. Fuck it. Can you go up a little bit and then play the first short? It's either the first or third one. Yeah, I think it's this. I should have just sent a link in. Food pyramid flip.
It doesn't work. We've already tried it.
It's upside down.
What?
Sir, the pyramid is upside down.
Turn the pyramid upside down. You can't be serious. That would put butter and fat at the top of the damn food pyramid! Get the president on the phone. Tell him to have some steak with his butter. The pyramid doesn't work. We've already tried it.
Okay, so you can end that. Now, type in HHS. Yeah, that might be it. Yes. Now, can you scroll down? You're good. Yes, sir. Now, if you can scroll down a little bit. Okay, no, this isn't. It's another link. Can you go back a page? Can you just type in HHS? Yeah, this might be it. Yeah, okay, boom. This is it. Evangelizing real food. So I just want to read these couple bullet points here. Where it pretty much tells you what the new dietary guidelines. Now, dietary guidelines, obviously, it's not like you got to eat this, but it is going to, in order to get certain government grants, in order for federal agencies to get funding for certain things, you have to abide by these things, and eventually it all trickles down as a trickling effect. But boom, so the first thing, prioritizing protein. So it's saying while previous dietary guidelines demonize protein in favor of carbs, these guidelines reflect gold standard science by prioritizing high quality nutrients dense protein. So they don't demonize like red meat, seafood, blah blah blah, things like that. Now these next few are better, more interesting. Avoiding highly processed foods. For the first time, the dietary guidelines call out the dangers of certainly high processed food. A common sense and vital public health point, the guidance calls to avoid highly processed, packaged, prepared, and ready to eat or other foods that are salty or sweet. Avoid sugar, sweetened beverages such as soda, fruit drinks, and energy drinks. Boom. Avoid added sugars. While dietary guidelines did not take a hard line against added sugar, especially for children, this guideline says no amount of added sugars or non-nutritive sweeteners is recommended or considered part of a healthy, nutritious diet, and calls on parents to completely avoid added sugar for children ages 4 and under. Ending the war on healthy fats. This one's a pretty big change too. The guidance calls for receiving the bulk of fat from food sources such as meat, poultry, eggs, omega-3 rich seafood, nuts, seeds, full-fat dairy, olives, avocados. When cooking with or adding fats to meals, the guideline calls for using most nutrient dense, blah, blah, blah. So pretty much like how certain saturated fats were demonized for like the last 15, 20 years, it's flipped. And then I like this one a lot because a lot of people don't realize that enriched grains or bread in general is just not good for you because your body doesn't process it like the way it usually would. It's a lot harder and sticks. But heralding whole grains and avoiding refined carbohydrates. The guideline calls for a firm stand to prioritize fiber-rich whole grains and significantly reduce the consumption of highly processed, refined carbohydrates such as white bread, ready-to-eat or packaged breakfast options, flour tortillas, and crackers. And then if you scroll down, there's one more part right here where they talk about, there's some stats here that I think, now this part I think is even more interesting than the last part because it kind of talks about our tax dollars. So the first bullet point, it pretty much talks about healthcare costs. So it says, according to a recent analysis by Johns Hopkins, 48% of all federal tax dollars are spent on healthcare, and 90% of U.S. healthcare spending is on people with chronic disease. Many of these conditions are preventable, often reversible, and often tied to the food we eat. 2, the United States has the highest obesity and type 2 diabetes rates in the developed world. 3, the United States spends 2.5 more per capita than the average developed countries on healthcare. So we spend 2.5 times more on our healthcare than other developed countries, and our life expectancy is 4 years lower. Chronic disease or chronic conditions tied to food are major contributions to this. The U.S. childhood obesity rate is nearly 5 times higher than other developed countries like France. In the United States, 1/3 of teens suffer from prediabetes, 20% of children and adolescents have obesity, and 18.5% of young adults have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. God damn. 2 more points. 77% of military-age youth are not eligible to join the military, primarily because the chronic diseases tied to food. A recent study of Medicare beneficiary found that a 15% weight loss reduction resulted in nearly $1,000 per year in lower Medicare spending. So boom. So that's pretty much the last of what I wanted to read on that. But I'm very excited because now moving forward for just guidelines, school diets, like different things like this, there's now going to be an actual difference. Like I remember whenever I was in high school, I thought that maybe like Michelle Obama's thing she was doing, it was interesting actually, like really with changing the vending machines and the food and shit was something big, but I didn't realize that they didn't actually make the food pyramid right. Like the food pyramid was really just to keep people fat for the way it was, but and demonize things that were actually very good and healing for you. But yeah, this year, I called it last year, we're gonna see it this year. Chronic disease rates I'm predicting will drop I'm gonna be conservative. I'm gonna say 4.5 to 6% this year, and it's gonna be a little effect for like 3 or 4 years because everything's gonna level out and things will be removed from diet. You can't stop people, obviously. Like, you're not gonna be like, don't eat McDonald's, don't just. No, you just simply make sure what they're eating doesn't have fucking furniture factory chemicals or fucking carcinogens and shit like that in it. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to fucking do. Eat like Europe or someplace like that. But yes. My next question is, will cannabis really evolve now? Will cannabis really evolve now? I feel like whenever I say cannabis, I don't mean the sale of cannabis. I don't mean the transaction of cannabis or the grow. I mean, actually, the growing process could be a part of it. But I'm saying, although I'm not the most fully knowledgeable person on cannabis, I do feel like the creativity of what you can do with it has like kind of slowed down. Like, I mean, carts are dope. Fucking snow's dope. Shit like that's dope. But I feel like now that we're actually gonna have big money put in on like specific real fucking science on this, I think it's gonna become some real mad scientist shit. Like, I think we're gonna find out real different ways to make weed do exactly what you want it to do, because we can do so many fucking things. And I think they're gonna find ways to, okay, extract this, focus on this. Somebody could buy this weed extract for this exact outcome, this, like a potion kinda, but not like literally an elixir, but just the same way you'll buy supplements. I think if weed is if it's considered medically beneficial and it's along the lines of a Tylenol, shit like that, then
Someone that's knowledgeable in terpenes and has a large enough inventory to pick from can already do that for you, except it's just all in flower form. Like, someone that knows about terpenes, because certain terpenes give you certain effects. Like, some are better for pain relief, some are better for stress and anxiety.
okay,
So like someone that's knowledgeable with terpenes and has like a shit ton of like product to choose from,
right,
they
access.
could go through and be like, okay, what, you have real bad anxiety and your knee hurts? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, this one would be perfect for you.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's flour. It's not going to be an elixir or anything. But
Yeah,
yeah, and so really I think the problem, aside from it getting to the point where they make it into tonics or tinctures or something like that, right now the problem I think we face is just more bud tenders don't have the knowledge like with the stock they have on hand.
right,
You know what I mean? Like, half the time, most local dispensaries I know of, in order to like figure out what buds that they have in stock are good for whatever you're looking for,
yeah,
you have to go sit down with a consultant. You can't ask a bud tender. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, they want you to make an appointment with one of their consultants to talk about your specific needs.
right. So you think that it should be in the bud tender's criteria to know exactly, like,
Yeah, I think that
how
they
to,
should be more knowledgeable in the product
right?
they're selling.
Because you're selling it to. If you're a salesman, you gotta know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, that I didn't know like that in depth that you could like specifically do that with terpenes. I just know like the only thing I know, which I didn't know was the terpenes, but I just know whenever I'm on like the Matry website, it will say like this gives you like a peaceful
Yeah.
Zen feeling. This gives you that, but I didn't know how it does that.
Terpenes, it'll probably have like lemon in it. Or,
Yeah,
you know
I've
what
seen
I mean?
that.
So it's like,
Yeah. Okay. Well, shit. I think there's gonna be a big opportunity for a fucking boom. Like for the people who are knowledgeable connoisseurs, like, I think there's gonna be great big business opportunities. Yes, sir. How's it going? Yes, sir. But will cannabis evolve? My thing is cannabis gonna become something that? Is cannabis gonna become something that you can buy off the shelf in an adult store? Like you go to a fucking spirit and wine store, it says Canna and Spirits. You feel me? Like, is there gonna be shit like that? Is there really gonna be how you have your dispensary type of bud tenders? Are you gonna be able to go to a bar and then be like, okay, what's wrong? What you want? What you need? All right, boom. Exact blunts, shit like that. Like, are you gonna have a new feel and access to the cannabis industry? That's my thing. Is it gonna evolve? That is the question. I think if the food industry evolves, then there's no reason the cannabis industry won't. But on January the 24th, me and Marley from Marley State of Mind will be doing a collab episode. I'll be on there with Marley, gladly, happily, humbly, to talk about whatever we're gonna talk about and hopefully get into some deep fucking conversations, because I love fucking deep intellectual conversations where you can ask questions. Like, so make sure y'all tap in January 24th. And make sure y'all's here every single Friday at 2:30 p.m. for The World We Know, every single Friday at 6 p.m. for Stash Spots, and every single Saturday at 8 p.m. for Marley State of Mind. Make sure y'all's there every week. Bunchable Studios, catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Kick. Be there every week. It's lit. We're always active, always putting shit out for y'all. So tap in. Be ready. Be there every week. But yeah, enough about the fucking government. Let's talk about my boy Drizzy. So Iceman, I talk about it just about every other episode now. Iceman supposedly is soon. Like, academics is posting shit about it, but Drizzy just posted some subliminals last night of he put Rory, a random photo of Rory, which I don't know what that meant, but then he said the Iceman is Drake and coming soon on it. I don't know. I'm really curious for this album, because here's the thing. I feel like this album will go two ways. It's going to sell well, obviously. But how well it sells, like, really, I think depends on this. If this nigga comes out here on some fucking Jamaican pop, clubby, singing still, if he comes out here on that shit, then he's gonna lose all his fucking, like, real respect. The same way Tate lost his respect losing that match. Now, if he comes out here and the way that he was making it seem like this is a solo album where he's addressing shit, he got to come out here. You got 20 different people to address. You really ended if you play it right, you ended a couple careers, like dropped their numbers, shit like that. If you want to really make history, I think you got to make this some of the coldest disses, and then some of the best fucking it has to be pure hip hop with maybe 2 or 3. Like, yeah, give me 2 or 3 Drake singy songs, but give me 12 to 18 rap. And I think that's what's going to decide the success of this. Now, this album will be successful, I believe, for this reason. Commercially, because he did announce, and there's a website you can go to where there's a Drake warehouse connected to Amazon now that you can buy, like, vinyls and, like, different things that he's selling. But this is going to be the first time that we're going to see his effect from doing bundles. Now, bundles is what Travis Scott, Taylor Swift, a lot of the big any pop artists you can think of, any country artist you can think of, like Morgan Wallen, niggas like that. But the people who really sell well, usually, I think maybe Bad Bunny, but The Weeknd does it. But I think it's important to do that. Like, there's no reason to shame that. But I think now that we're seeing Drake do it, how much is he going to sell? Because those sales are much different than a stream, which his whole career has just been streaming so far.
I got a question for you. Did he re-drop Take Care? Or what happened? Because I seen this thing that popped up the other day, said that somehow Take Care is, like, already the most sold album of 2026 or some shit.
No, he didn't re-drop it, but Take Care, for whatever reason, just consistently stays in the top 100. Like, last year, Take Care stayed in the top 60, and it got to, I think, like 29 or so. I mean, Good Kid, Mad City is pretty much in the same spot as Take Care still.
Yeah.
Like they're only like 4 or 5 spots away at any given time.
Yeah, Yeah, I
But
seen an article that popped up on my phone the other day, and I was just confused for a minute.
I think what that is just like timeless music is timeless music is timeless music, and it's gonna play out. But he has like, I think he had the record last year for the most albums in the top 200. He had like 7 or something. But I think this album, if this album isn't a Take Care, or if this album isn't at least a Scorpion, then his traction is just gonna go like this, and then he's just gonna become a figure eventually, like a personality. But yeah, Iceman coming soon. Iceman coming soon. Now Iceman's coming. We also got, as I said, Bad Bunny coming. I'm questioning, what do y'all think? Does Bad Bunny deserve a Super Bowl performance?
Almost nobody even knew who he was until like other rappers like that, and it's sad because they're like Latino rappers and shit.
Yeah,
None of us know who any of these
exactly.
people are
Americans don't.
until an American artist does something with them.
Facts.
Like no one knew who
This
J
isn't their
Balvin
market.
was until he started dropping clothing and shit.
Right. Yeah. Now Bad Bunny, like, obviously Spanish music's big because Spanish is like one of the biggest languages in the world, so they have a bigger market, but the American market isn't really the market. But I will give him credit because I was looking into it yesterday, and it says that he has, I'm gonna look this up again now, I think it said he has 4 years, like 2 different two-peats of the most streamed artists in the world, which I think that's big, but here's my thing.
He's probably huge.
Here's my thing, though. Yeah, it says Bad Bunny was the most streamed artist on Spotify globally 2025, reclaiming the title for the 4th time with over 19.8 billion streams. He was at 21, 20, 22, 24. But here's my thing. If he's going to perform in FIFA. Like, we're having the World Cup, or not FIFA, the World Cup. We're having that here this year. Put him in FIFA, and then put a fucking American artist or somebody who's actually, like, in the ear and sound of people around here. I feel like it's kind of disrespectful to American culture to have, like, if he was a Spanish artist who had some English music, sure. But if this is going to be, I don't know. I don't want to sound like, I think change is inevitable with anything, and you're going to have different things happen. But I think that this was probably one of the worst picks for a Super Bowl. I think Bad Bunny is a deserving artist of a big stage. I just think that big stage is the World Cup. But we'll see who gets the World Cup. See how that shit plays out. Now, next thing I wanted to talk about, this is way off the fucking program. I had this early in the joint, but I want to show y'all and talk about, it's kind of corny, kind of funny, whatever you think about is whatever you think about it, but there was just a Mr. Beast diss track made by Steve Will Do It. Steve Will Do It was going viral last month because he was drunk on Logan Paul's show. He's just chilling, and he was like, yo, Mr. Beast is a dickhead. And he's like, what are you talking about? Because, I mean, Logan Paul and them boys, Mike and Logan, they're close with Mr. Beast, so I get it. But they're like, what are you talking about? You're tweaking. He's like, my thing is Mr. Beast never helps anybody off a camera. I've seen it. I've heard about people around him. Like, if there's no camera, he doesn't help you at all. And Steve Will Do It. That's kind of his thing. Like, he's giving out millions of dollars from off the camera, which, I mean, dude.
And he was talking about how all of Mr. Beast's money that he gives out is sponsor money because it's from investors and stuff. Meanwhile, Steve does it out of his own pocket.
Damn.
Either way, though, right?
That's.
Yeah, I mean, either way for the recipient.
Yeah.
The person doing it. Like,
Right. It's not really
it hits a lot harder to me that I'm giving away the money I worked for. Meanwhile, some rich guy gave you the money.
I didn't know that.
It didn't affect you none. You know what I mean? But it affected me some.
Yeah, no, that's kind of fucked. That I definitely didn't know that. I did hear him say, like, he only gives out money looking to get something in return. Like, there's always something like he knows he's getting a return on his investment,
Yeah, 'cause it's
which
gonna be all over video.
right, yeah. Which I mean, I won't knock like that's fire. Do your thing, but I do want to do a little reaction to the Steve Will Do It diss track that he made with. Now this shit's controversial. It's wild. It's goofy. I seen it this morning, but I want to put it on here. He did it with 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine just went back to jail for 3 months for a probation violation. And and yeah, let's see this shit. I think it's the first one. Now this is like, I'm telling y'all before, this isn't a serious hip hop video. It's just like some kind of like in the modern news flow shit react to.
Steve is a trained professional. Do not attempt
I do think
anything you
Mr.
see on
Beast
this
is a big
page.
fan.
What's up, guys? I want to say thank you guys so much for the support in the YouTube videos. We're picking 2 winners right now, $250,000 from the first video and $100,000 from the last video. We give away $100,000 every single video. All you have to do is like, comment, subscribe. Neil Timepiece Trading, I'm speaking on him. We'll give a watch to one of y'all. So 100K and a watch, click on a random comment, and Steiny,
Let's go.
you want to ask me about my chain?
Oh, wait, hold on one sec. Where'd you get this?
I stole that shit.
Stole that shit.
That's what I do, nigga.
Wait into jail, you robbed the boy.
I walk shit.
I didn't even know this was on it, but hey, fuck it.
Congrats to @SinMac1. He said have to turn on.
How long was
notifications
this?
for Steve.
I
You
thought
just
it said
won
like 3 minutes or some
100,000 motherfuckers.
Damn,
100
no.
grand.
And
Nah,
What's this for? Another
we
100?
just need the
no,
song.
this one is for 2.
I'm not watching this nigga's whole video. Here, let me just send it. See if we'll do it. 6ix9ine. It might be that one that says Viva, maybe. Yeah.
For over 40 years.
All right, let's see.
Wherever great sound is in demand,
Controversy.
Yeah, just punch him in right there. Dressing all black when I creep. That's it. All right, come on, let's knock this out. Let's do it quick, bro.
This has music only.
No, that's the video. I think it's saying, like, not the vlog. What the fuck? Welcome to 2026. This shit is silly as fuck. Yo, could you tap the space bar? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so that's Mr. Beast diss track. Steve will do it featuring 6ix9ine. That if I have to rate that musically, I give it like a 3.5, like 3.5, 4 maybe. But if I give it as far as a news thing, like, because I've seen the actual video itself has like damn near 10 million views right now in like 4 days. I'd say the song is stupid as fuck, but the actual talk about Mr. Beast, I think it's gonna bring a lot more people looking at him with a microscope, and maybe his true colors will show. I don't know. I don't think he's necessarily a horrible human being. I don't know the dude, but I do think that we haven't really heard much about him outside of just his videos. Like I don't hear any real human interaction. Like I never really hear people say like, yo, I link with Mr. Beast who did some dope ass shit. I don't never really hear any stories. Like you just see the videos, which is like respect, you know, because you are like the most subscribed channel on YouTube. But I don't know. I think at that point you should have at least some type of stream. Like if you're I believe if you're at the top, the only way that you can stay in your position comfortably and not in chaos is if you bring other people up with you, and if you give new like open up new markets, like bless certain people who are skilled, talented, and able to contribute equal value. And I don't know, is there anybody that he's put on at all? I mean, besides like his crew that he had, I don't think I've ever heard of it. But I do hear like a lot of different influencers and content creators get their come up through collaborations with other influencers. I don't know, I feel like in order to be respected, loved, and not necessarily always in danger of losing your spot there, you have to give out. Otherwise, yes, you might stay there being greedy, but you're going to crash, and that's just going to eat you eventually. But hey, I don't know. I also don't think Steve will do it. Is in the best state of mind. I think that nigga's gone. But yeah, that's my review of the video. Now, my next topic of the fucking week and the year, starting the year with a bang, is before 2026 came, there was a clear advertising push mentioned, and even a couple U.S. representatives in Congress and Senate posted about there being a push in 2026 for a no tax boycott, pretty much. Like fuck taxes, like started them in 1913, this and that. Now, I say this to say that Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of these people who spoke about it. Thomas Massey spoke about it. Multiple Democratic leaders spoke about it. And Elon Musk, I was checking on his fucking X, because I have X downloaded, so I get a million fucking Elon notifications. And he's been pretty active talking about the no income tax push. On top of that, we have Donnie T also speaking about it. And not only is he speaking about it, he campaigned about it, like that it eventually should be abolished or whatever, which, I mean, I think that we were a much fucking more flourishing country before it. But so the reason I say this is I believe this year there's going to be a huge push for it, and I think that the boycott's going to come from a lot of as the time comes, big figureheads and leaders talking about don't pay taxes, and there's going to be like, not everybody, like obviously not everybody's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna do that shit, I'm with it, blah, blah, blah. But I believe that there's going to be a huge wave, and on top of that, we have a leader, the fucking commander-in-chief wants it gone himself. A lot of people in his administration want it gone. So I think there's going to be a push to eliminate it. 40% of where our tax dollars go is fraud. And then as I spoke about earlier with the healthcare cost shit, 48% of all healthcare costs, or all of our tax dollars, are spent on healthcare. So I think that it's possible. We're getting a lot more money from tariffs as well. So far, we have like 640 billion from it in the past like 9 months. So yeah, I think that it's very fucking possible. It's very doable, and if income taxes are eliminated, that's going to be I think that's going to be one of the biggest fucking, like, think about this. If you can keep 30% more of your money, there's a saying, a penny saved is a penny earned. If you can keep 30% more of your money, yes, you may not think that you're feeling it physically, but that shit's going to compound quick, 30% a year. That's going to add up quick. And if the government, instead of like, we're paying them to pay everybody else, instead of that, if it really flips of how they're making it seem like, if instead of that they pay us as their people, like, you should focus on your fucking people. You shouldn't be the police and the nurse of the fucking world. If they do that, then I think there's no reason in the world why we can't be as beautiful and prosperous as Dubai. It will be like a 10, 20 year process maybe, but I see no reason. We're the reserve country, we're the richest country in the world, we're the superpower. So hopefully we clean up and we get shit right with that. But yeah. And my last joint I want to talk about is just a quick little topic, because I don't know too much about it, but I wanted to talk about it because it's been in a news cycle for like the past 3 weeks, and I haven't mentioned it all during the pod. Is Tim Waltz is getting booted out for fraud. Well, technically he jumped out, but they're getting him out of there before he finishes his term. And they're picking somebody new, like they're in the process of selecting somebody new right now. And well, I think that's fucking insane, and like, damn, like you hear that shit, it's like, damn, nigga was just running as vice president, shit like that, debating JD Vance and shit. But what they found was, so they say, billions of dollars in Somali fraud. Well, not just Somali, different fraud, but large chunk of it was Somali, illegal shit like that, blah, blah, blah. And there's videos of agents seizing shit from federal buildings over the past week. There's shit like that. And there was a White House post that said that they have like 1,200 people, what's the word, not convicted, indicted, or they have 1,200 people. Let me just pull it up, fuck it. Let's see. Timmy Waltz. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so it says, from fraud to federal prosecution, 98 defendants charged, 64 convictions secured, 1,750 plus subpoenas issued, 130 plus federal search warrants issued. So there's a lot of shit coming from the situation. It's not just like I said something and it's going, but we'll see what comes from it. We'll see what happens. I'm nervous that whoever they put in for the motherfucker is like just an NPC ass. I'll do as you say. I think that our leaders have to be real leaders, but yeah. We'll see how that shit plays out. But yeah. Not too much in the hip hop world this week, not too much in the boxing world. The only boxing note that I could make for y'all is Anthony Joshua update on his car incident from 2 weeks ago that we spoke about is The driver is now charged, and he's going through court for that. And Anthony Joshua, it was rumored about 5-ish days ago that he was going to retire. And the rumor started from his uncle, because his uncle made a post talking about Anthony retiring, blah, blah, blah. Which you can't really blame the dude if he did retire, because he was in a crazy fucking wreck. If you look at the photos, the videos, that shit, it will be PTSD for a minute, because he lost 2 of his best friends in the wreck. And he's only alive because the driver, he was going to have him sit in the front, but he was like, no, I'll sit behind you. And he's a huge dude. He's like 6'6", 240, 250, 280 whenever he's not training and shit. So his life was just spared, but his friends died. It was a horrible, dumb incident. The driver didn't have a proper license or anything like that. And as soon as it happened, 1 million cameras were on him. So if he retired, you'd be like, okay, I get it. You probably need 3 to 5 years to think about what the fuck just happened after one of the biggest fucking viewed fights of your career, biggest payouts of your career. Building into you going to fight Tyson Fury, which was supposed to be this year. You should retire. But the update is Anthony Joshua, there's a post with him and Kamaru Usman, 2 good Nigerian friends and brothers, speaking on the phone. And he's happy, he's healthy, and he's ready to go. And he's talking like he's training still. So, yeah, in the boxing world, we got an exciting fucking fight coming up this year. Hopefully Anthony Joshua's good and ready. And if he is healthy, I believe he's going to be an animal this fight. But who he's fighting, this fight's been a while in the making. This fight should have happened after Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. It's Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Now, it's unfortunate that this is after Tyson loses to Usyk twice. But it's kind of a redemption story, and maybe after he beats him, he can fight Usyk. But it's a big story because Joshua lost to Usyk twice. He lost once, and then he lost in a rematch. And Joshua's a really great fucking fighter, so it's crazy that he lost those. But Tyson lost to Usyk twice, so they both lost to Usyk twice. So now they're about to fight, and we'll see what happens. We'll see where it goes. My money's on Joshua, but after a wreck like that, shit, that kind of fucks with your momentum. But whatever, he's out the hospital, he's free. Let's go. But yeah, that's it for this week of The World We Know. I'm your host, Greg Lamont. I appreciate y'all tapping in. I'll see y'all next weekend.